It's interesting when you say beautiful chaos, because normally those two words, beautiful and chaos, don't necessarily go together, and yet you found a way to put them into your work. What compelled, I mean, how early did you start? What compelled you? I know I've looked at some of your pieces, you've shared some stories with me earlier. What was the painting that just resonated so that from that point on you were like, okay, I've got to go, I've got to continue this, I mean, flow?
To answer your question, I have to first respectfully disagree with you that I do believe that the world and life is made up of beautiful chaos. What I mean is, if you believe in the theory of evolution, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, then it was the chaos that created who we are right now. And also, if you look through history and you study history, you realize it's through the chaos, for example, the banking crisis, the housing crisis, that we learn. Because nature naturally has a propensity to go towards chaos. So once I started realizing that it's a mathematical equation, no matter what we do, it's going to gear towards that. I mean, aging, as humans, we age, we start breaking down. Consumer goods, as they age, they start breaking down. So you've got to find the beauty in it. You've got to find a silver lining. Because if you don't, you're going to live a life of misery. So I chose to embrace the beautiful chaos. And then in answering your second question, when I was an elected official, people think it wasn't a big deal because I was just a condo commando, is what some call it. But I was entrusted with 1,500 souls, lives, whatever you want to call them. And I found that to be a responsibility. When I heard allegations that the individual that was my boss, because he was the owner of the building that I was entrusted to safeguard, was possibly a alleged serial killer, I realized that I had to do something. I couldn't just live with that knowledge and not do something. So when I contacted the FBI and when I contacted the police, basically I realized that we were understaffed, underfunded, and that's why serial killers are doing what they do and getting away with a lot of what they're getting away with, because we don't have the abilities to catch all the bad guys out there. So with the reports that I was getting from people, I started keeping a diary, keeping news on canvas. I went ahead and fused Hunter S. Thompson's Gonzo journalism with Salvador Dali's cryptic artwork, and I created bizarre images that would serve as a historical document, so that in the future, if a reporter comes to me and says, hey, listen, you know what you said resonated, and that was about 5 years ago, but now it's starting to make sense. I could say, okay, look at that painting, you see these clues that are right there, and somehow it seems to work.
That's sheer brilliance on its own, right? I mean, isn't it? Because just the concept of it, I mean...
It's funny that you say it's brilliance, and today we're dealing with the Independence Day, which I realized the reason why we became independent was because our forefathers were just proponents of common sense. And it seems like in this country right now, due to apathy, we've lost common sense. For you to say, and for others to say that what I'm doing is brilliant, I appreciate that, and I respect that, okay? But it's really just common sense. It's just the person telling the emperor that he's not wearing any clothes. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just painting a diary of the world on canvas. I mean, what's so brilliant about that? I mean, we can do that.
Okay.
We should all be doing that.
Are you being a vessel?
A vessel for people who don't have the ways and means, I suppose. I mean, I guess I'm a voice for the people, yeah. But that's okay. I mean,
it's brilliant.
Somebody's got to be.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So I have a ton of questions, but one I do want to ask you, because earlier when we spoke last week, I'm around here in your room, and I've been fortunate to be here another time and witness, or rather, touch on a lot of your beautiful artwork. But I also know that you had shared with me that and I looked at some of your past interviews, and there was sometimes they actually label you as a little controversial.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah, good. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's okay. It's good to be labeled. doesn't necessarily mean what it is, but it's good to be labeled. But do you feel in your artwork when you're painting, are you trying to reach people through a certain message that is to, I thought of it more as a provocative, more evoking emotion. Are you thinking that it's, when you started to paint rather, is there something in your mind that is creating, obviously the characters, the paintings that you're doing, something's coming from within. Something must have, whether it's going on in the world, correct, that made you take brush to canvas?
That noise in the background, by the way, that's a little mouse, that's why.
Uh-oh!
For those viewers at home that are listening to little squeaks.
Squeaky, squeaky. Okay.
We've got a little artistic mouse here.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, that's what it is. I go to bed, and the little artistic mouse paints for me.
Ah.
And then when I wake up, him and the little elves have just created a bunch of shoes and paintings for me.
How fabulous is that?
For, so really,
is that kind of like the Keebler Cookie Elves?
Yeah,
They do everything at night, and then you wake up?
The secret's out,
Okay,
yeah.
well, you know what?
It's all just a charade.
Meanwhile, you got some good little elves and mices working for you then. How's that?
Well, all right, it's seriously though, but when I'm painting, I'm just flowing. I really could care less what the media is going to think about my artwork. I'm just in the moment. I'm living in that moment. Every brush stroke that I make, every thought process that goes out, I'm just channeling from whatever the environment is around me. Whether I'm painting indoors, outdoors, whether I'm painting in an arena or a small theater, whether I'm painting in my studio or just in a waiting room somewhere, I am taking in the moment. And that's the best advice that I can have for anybody who is thinking of being an artist, is to just literally live in that moment. And it'll come out in the canvas, because I do believe that the artist's soul is in every canvas.
I also believe that. Now let me ask you,